Alright, so I want to just talk through some problems here. If you were here yesterday for the slope introduction, this should seem familiar, but if not, then this will help you get caught up, hopefully. So when we talk about slope, we're talking about several different things, okay? We're talking about it in terms of slope is the steepness of a line, okay? And so when we're talking about slope, we're talking about the rise over the run, and we're really just talking about the change in the vertical compared to the change in the horizontal. So if I draw a slope triangle here, from my leftmost point to my rightmost point, and I start counting the spaces, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and then just go 1 to the right. So when we talk about rise over run, the rise was 4 and the run is 1, and we can reduce that down and just say that the slope of the line is 4. So let's look at another one on number 2. Okay, start at the leftmost point, draw your slope triangle, and then count the points, or count the spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since we went down, we're going to call that -5. And then I'm going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3. So my rise was -5. And my run was 3. And I can't reduce that, so I'm just going to go with that. Okay, so that's the way we count slope when we have graphs. But what about when we don't have a graph? Okay, if we're just given points like this, we know that these are xy pairs, like x1, y1, and x2, y2. And so what we need is a formula to use to find the slope. So we use the slope formula. So we're going to need to remember this one. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Okay, and so I always set it up with my fraction bar and my subtraction signs. And then I'm just going to plug in the values that match. So y2 was 19, and y1 is 13. x2 is 14, and x1 is 1. So go ahead and subtract those, and you end up with 6 over 13, which cannot be reduced, so we stop. Okay, so looking at an example that is, or that has some negatives, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to go in and make our fraction bar, make our subtract signs, and then plug in the numbers. Our y2 is -1. Our y1 is -10. x2 is -8. And x1 is -1. So then, because it's subtract a negative here in the middle, that is really like adding a positive. So I'm going to change that, and it works on the top and the bottom in this case. It won't always be like that. Okay, so then if I combine some things, -1 plus 10 is 9, -8 plus 1 is -7. I can't reduce. It's okay that the negative is in the denominator, so I'm just going to leave that there.